So welcome to our inaugural virtual assembly training series. This has been a great opportunity, and we were looking for a way to share this information with everyone after we weren't able to have the in-person assemblies, and it's been a great opportunity. And thank you for joining us today. My name is Claire Roberts, and I'm a member of the Rotary Club of La Miranda Sunrise, and I currently serve as the district trainer for our district, and I'll be the moderator for today's session. So I'd like to begin tonight's session by introducing our district governor-elect, Mark Roberts. Mark, can you unmute yourself?
I have indeed. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. I see some familiar faces who have been with us for the first and or second presentation. So I'm glad you're here to learn more about position players. This is great. I want to thank our district membership chair, Carol Landry, who is going to be our facilitator and presenter for this session. And I hope we all have the chance to learn more about the important roles that members play in your clubs and here in the district. And please ask questions. You've got some good folks here who can provide their input. And I hope this information will be very valuable as you get ready to start another new and exciting Rotary year. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
And last but certainly not least, it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome today's presenter. Carol Landry joined the Vacaville Rotary Club in 2004 and was club president from 2015 to 16. She's currently the district membership chair, which she will continue into the 2020-2021 Rotary year. In her day job, she managed a team of business bankers at First Northern Bank, a community bank in the greater Sacramento area. Most importantly, and this is very much most importantly if you know Carol, she totally dotes on her almost one-year-old granddaughter, who is adorable from Facebook pictures. So it is my pleasure to turn the floor over to Carol. Carol, I have unmuted you, I think. Yeah, so please go ahead.
Yes, I think I'm here. All right, well, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me. I am happy to go ahead and host this virtual seminar and new skill we're all learning here. And this one's on position players, completing your club team. So let me see if I can share my screen here. Okay, is it up? Everybody
yes,
sees
it is up.
Okay, great. So this is kind of be a nuts and bolts kind of lots of facts and figures. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat box. Claire is going to go ahead and monitor them. And then as questions come up or things I'm talking about, she'll let me know so that we can just kind of answer them during the presentation. So don't hesitate to ask any questions. One thing you'll definitely learn is, there are a lot of resources in Rotary. So it's, so what this one on is Rotary resources is specifically for board members, but it really applies to all Rotarians. I know that when I was in my club, I knew what my club did, and that was pretty much it. Really not until I became president-elect did I kind of see that there was a Rotary outside of my club. Prior to that, I just knew the governor would visit once a year and make a speech, and that's pretty much all I knew. But as you become the president, you kind of see there's a bigger one, and there is a lot of resources here. So these resources are really to help anybody in the club who has maybe a specific function. We have our three-legged stool, the membership, the foundation, and public image, as well as many other things we do, from youth activities to international projects. And there are a lot of resources in Rotary. So that's what we're going to kind of spend our time tonight, is kind of seeing what kind of resources you have. Okay, so kind of what we're here today is take a look at what kind of resources there are in Rotary. So for instance, you're now on your club's board. Congratulations. Thank you for serving. Your president has probably asked you, actually probably as president-elect, if you can fill a position on the board. It might be foundation, membership, youth, international, depending on your club. Some clubs have lots of chairs, some have just a couple. So you said, of course, yes. You went over and talked to the chair who did it before, hopefully, and you probably talked to the club president, but you're still wondering, what do I do? what does Rotary have to kind of help me fill my chair position? So that's where we're going next. So the first thing, I was going to kind of start from the district level of what is available on the district. And there are two websites for the district. And the first one is called DACDB. You've probably heard it mentioned. It's dacdb.com. That's the actual address for it. And it's our database. It's where all of the member information resides, where our committees are, where our calendar is, any kind of database is on this website here. And you do need to be able to sign in to access this information. It is not a public website. So if you haven't signed in on DACDB before, just contact your club secretary. They can give you a temporary password and you can get in that way. So, and if you have any needing help with DACDB, our guru for next year is Tina Akins. Our current district governor is going to take over helping with the DACDB next year. And she's got a lot of knowledge on DACDB, so that's great. So one of the things I was going to say, there is a lot of information on here, but the one that probably helps the people that are going to be on the board is to find out who are the district people that are in your area. So if you're a membership, if you're a foundation, you're working on an international project, who in the district could help you? So what you would want to do then is go to the district tab, and then you go to district committees. So you'll see a little icon that says district committees, and tap on that one. And so here's some information to who on the district is helping in these different areas. First one, public image. We have a very strong public image committee. Next year, the chair is going to be Val Redeman from Chico, and she has a very active committee. And so that there's a good resource for anybody who needs help in public image. And that would include your website, any kind of marketing material, any PR type of issues. Websites are especially very popular right now. Social media, another thing that all the clubs are working on. The second area is membership, which of course is myself. I'm the current chair in membership, and I am staying on for next year as well. And I have an active group of membership. We call them membership ambassadors. There's about 6 or 7 of them, and they span the whole district. And we are be happy to help to anybody, whether it's a membership chair or a president, anybody who wants to talk to us about membership issues, we'd be happy to help with them with that. Another area is youth services. The chair next year is Mac Robinson from San Pablo, and he has quite a few, they're sub-chairs, I guess, I don't know what they call them, but they're chairs of the different areas. Of course, we all know our district is very active in youth services. And so there are chairs on the district level for Camp Royal, Camp Venture, the Rotaryorg clubs, and Youth Exchange. So if you need some information, you want to talk to somebody, this is a good place to find out who could help you with that. Foundation, big emphasis in our district here. The chair next year is going to be John Dwyer, past district governor from Benicia. And he has, similar to the membership, he has foundation ambassadors. And then in addition, there are chairs of different areas in foundation. There's a Polio Plus chair, I think it's Mike Crosby. Next year, there's a grants chair. There's a chair that does the Paul Harris Society. So again, if you're looking for somebody to give you some information, some guidance, feel free to reach out to one of them. And last, one of our newest committees that has been set up in the last, I think, year or two is the International Committee, and that chair is Sheila Hurst out of Reading West. So that's the DACDB resources to talk to people in the district. So the next thing on the district level is the district website. So that is Rotary5160.org. And that one is a public site. You don't have to sign in. And if you go on there, you'll see the membership area. There's links to various membership resources. So it's a good place to kind of poke around. Actually, I must admit, when I looked at that, I thought we need to get that a little bit stronger. So hopefully in the next few months, you'll see that kind of get a little bit more robust. Foundation area has the district grant policy is in there, forms that you're going to need if you're going to be pursuing some grants. One thing's very useful, there is a list of all the current and prior year district grants. So, and it has descriptions of them. So it's a good place to go in if you're wondering, like, you know, what are other clubs getting approved for their grants? You might get some ideas for your own area. You might be doing a similar project. You can kind of see how they structured it. So that's a really good resource for our district grants. And then we also have posted there the Foundation Day training slides. So if you were unable to make that meeting, which was back in January, they do it once a year, you can go and review those slides, particularly if you're maybe coming into Foundation but didn't get a chance to go to that. Public image. On our district Rotary 5160 website, they do have a contact form. So if you are just needing some general information on public image, you can fill out that form. It goes to all the members and they will contact you and provide some assistance on that. And then, as I had mentioned, International is our newest committee. It's a District International Service Committee, short, I call it DISC. They also have a contact on there. I actually used that one about a year ago when I started working on a potential global project, and Sheila was very helpful. She actually came down and met with me and we talked about our project. Or if you're an experienced international, you might want to join that committee. They're always looking for people. Another thing that's really interesting on that site is that they do have a showcase of international projects from our district. So you can take a look at that and see maybe, you know, what projects are in the district. If you're looking, maybe you would want to join another club. You know, most of them are looking for people to help with that, or look for ideas. That's something that you'd want to do yourself. And they do also have links to other, or international, for more information. So that's a District 5160. All right, moving on. So now we're leaving the district and we're moving up to our zone. If you're not familiar with kind of the structure of Rotary, of course, Rotary International has a board of directors and each director has a zone. Our district 5160 is part of the zones 2627, which is called the Big West. It does cover pretty much all of Western United States and parts of Western Canada. So their website has some information that can be very useful as well. You'll see, of course, they do have the three-legged membership, public image, and the Rotary Foundation. There's links there to various resources. That's actually kind of a good way to kind of start out, because you'll see as we move up to Rotary.org, there's a huge amount of information. So sometimes it kind of helps us start it where they've kind of been picked out for you, and you know, so they kind of show it's a good place to start. So they do have links there. But one thing that the Zone website is really known for is videos. They have a big collection of videos. If you go to the bottom of the homepage of the zone2627.org, you'll see that there's links to quite a few to videos. They have training videos that are very cut and dry, like how to fill out a foundation form. And then they have like some really good PR videos. If you have attended any district or zone function, or even if you've been into an international convention, you've probably seen some of these videos. They're very professionally done. They're great to show at your club, to show it if you're having a public event and you want to kind of explain who is Rotary and what do we do. You know, these are great to kind of pull those up. So if you have a chance to take a look at this website, that can be really very useful. So, all right, so that's Zone. So now we're moving on to Rotary.org. And this is the big one. There is so much information on Rotary.org. It can be a bit overwhelming, so I'm trying to push it down to somebody who maybe is not familiar with it, where you could go to get some information. You do have to sign in to Rotary.org. So first thing you have to do is sign into My Rotary. When you go to the first page, Rotary.org, that is a public site. So the My Rotary will get you into the membership information. Again, if you haven't signed in before to My Rotary, you can just contact your club secretary and they'll get you the information so that you can get signed in. So it has a lot of really good online tools in there. There's a learning center, which has classes, online classes. There's a brand center. a lot of logos, materials that you can customize, and Rotary Club Central, which is a reporting area. So you can pull some information out of there. I would say if you haven't been on Rotary.org before and you're on the board and you're trying to find some information in your area, you might want to start by going to the tab that says Learning and Reference. And then if you scroll down, you go to an area that says Learn by Topic. And that kind of, I think this is a good way to kind of organize it by different types of membership, PR. If you're working in the youth areas, like for Interact, you can see if they have something that's for you, because somebody has taken the time to kind of pull out the things from the Learning Center and the Brand Center to put them in a topical area. So that's a good way to do that. The foundation itself is so large, the Rotary Foundation is actually in a separate tab. So if that's your interest, then you should just move over to that tab and take a look at what's available there. All right, so I was going to highlight membership. Obviously, that's my area, but also the Rotary.org is really strong in membership resources. So that, and of course, membership is the lifeblood of all of the clubs. So if you go to the Learn by Topic and go to membership, you'll see that they've broken it down by kind of your interest in members. So if you're looking for information to engage your current members, are you looking for information for connecting with prospects? How do you grow your club? Or maybe you're looking for some information about you have a new member, how do you kind of integrate them into your club? So they have different topics that you can go into, and then each one of them will have different kind of resources. There's a lot of forms, guidelines in there. I kind of gave some examples here. There's a Rotary Club Health Check, which is a good way to kind of take a look at your club. They do kind of recommend that, like, president-elects coming in might want to take a look at that and see if there's certain areas of the club, some areas that they're doing well, some areas that maybe they could do better in. There's enhancing the club experience, finding new club members, just a lot. The guidelines, they can include things like corporate memberships, if that's something your club is looking at. If you want a satellite club, you're thinking of that, there's a guideline for that too. There is, with over 1 million members, there's a lot of information here on Rotary.org. One of the other areas they have is that they will have links to the courses in the Learning Center. So the Learning Center really has good courses in there. There's like a course, there's about 8 courses in membership. I think all the president-elects were asked to take them at their pets this year. My membership ambassadors have done them as well. And they really kind of give you some best practices in Rotary right now. And some examples I put here: best practices for engaging members. Of course, membership is not only getting new members, it is also retention. And it's very important. We always keep our eyes on that as well. And then, of course, the strategies for attracting new members, the traditional membership issues. So that's Learning Center forms. And then last, I was going to mention there are different tools, like they'll show a customizable club brochure that'll link you into the Brand Center. And you'll see right there where if your club doesn't have a brochure, they have a template and you can put in your local information, your local projects, but then it has like the Rotary logos and some information about Rotary in general. So, and then there's some PowerPoints here, like the Discover Rotary is a nice PowerPoint that is customizable. So it has information about Rotary as a whole, but then you can also put in there some information about your club. That's a good thing if you use that because you're having a public event and you want to have a little bit of information about Rotary. Last, I just mentioned that there is a way you can subscribe to the Membership Minute newsletter, and you're getting that monthly from Rotary. I believe Foundation also has a newsletter. So you can see lots of information there.
And Carol,
Yes.
one of the questions that came in is you talked about a membership ambassadors. Can you explain a little bit more what the role of a membership ambassador is?
Sure. I would be happy to do that. We are actually recruiting right now for our membership ambassadors for next year. We have several that are staying on from last year, and there's a couple of them, like Suzanne Bragdon, that are moving up to bigger and better things. So we would like to recruit a few more people. But basically, a membership ambassador is the link between the district and the clubs. So the ambassadors take all of our 72 clubs, kind of split them up among us, generally 8 to 10 per ambassador. And they're asked to contact the club, contact the membership chair if they have one. If not, then the president, and just talk to them about what their club's doing, any plans of membership, and can be a resource for them. So that's one of their roles. The other role is we do get membership leads from Rotary International, because on that public-facing site, they actually have a section where people are interested in finding out more about Rotary. They fill out a little contact form. It comes to the districts, myself, then I send it down to the ambassador who's working in that area. They call the person and kind of chat with them. What are they looking for? What kind of club? What's a good meeting time? Describe a little bit about the clubs in the area, and hopefully can make a match, and then call the club, the chair or the president, and make an introduction. So that's one of their roles as well.
And one of the other things, when you talked about the zone, the districts roll up into zones. There is a zone institute, and there was a question as to whether or not members are, who can attend the zone institute.
Everybody can attend the zone. It is so great, because until I think last year, you had to be invited. And so it was generally a few of the leaders, at the district level. But they opened it up last year to every Rotarian can go. And I actually took advantage of that. It was in Denver and went last fall, and it was great. It was one of the best Rotary trainings I've been to. They did a great job. So if you have a chance and you're interested, I would highly suggest you go. They do have certain emphasis on the membership foundation, public image, but they also have classes that are just for all areas of Rotary. So you don't have to necessarily be filling in one of those roles. It is this year going to be in San Diego in November. Crossing our fingers we get to do it in person. We will see how that goes.
Yes.
But yes, definitely recommend Zone Institute. It is
For sure.
and
And
one all of the West Coast.
And one other thing that was typed into the chat box was that there's a huge amount of information on the Rotary, on the RI website, and sometimes it can seem a little bit overwhelming. But if you do a Google search, Rotary's done a great job of getting their information promoted into Google. So you can do a Google search on what you're looking for, and oftentimes that will give you a link that will take you directly to what you're looking for, rather than looking through the entire website.
I would totally agree with that. If you know exactly what you're looking for, like the name of the form, you should try to find it that way. Because if you go to just Learning Center or Brand Center, it is an amazing amount of information. And unfortunately, it's not quite as user-friendly as some of us would like in order to find things. So yes, Google is definitely a good way to go. Most of what I'm doing here is for if you don't know what you're looking for, you're trying to just look for resources. So
yeah, and then somebody else said that the RI website can be slow. There's different times of year where there's a lot of activity on the site. At this time of year, there's as we move further into June and into the beginning of July, there'll be a lot of switching over. So I would encourage you to just be a little patient. And if you're looking for something, try the Google alternative. I've really found that if it's something that I know, that what I'm looking for, then going directly to it rather than trying to search through the website can be very helpful.
Right. And I have found when I've used Google that it can also send you to resources in other districts across the United States. One time I was Googling for like a new member induction. I was looking for kind of and I found some ones that I really liked that were just from other districts. So yes, Google is a good way to do it as well.
Yeah.
I did want to mention some just various things that are also on Rotary.org. It is huge. So if you have the time to poke around, you will find some very interesting things. But just kind of some of the things that board members might find interesting. There is a Rotary Showcase. You go to Take Action, Develop Projects, and then Rotary Showcase. And there are people from all over the world have posted projects that they're working on, and some of them requesting if anybody else wants to join them. So that's a good thing to look at if you want to see what Rotary is doing, and also maybe if you want to publicize your own project on it. Another one under the take action part is the grants. So you take action, apply for grants, and then the grant center itself, that has a lot of information about global grants. Global grants themselves are a highly complicated area, as I have found out the last couple of years as I've been working on one for my club, but there is a lot of information on there as well. Another really useful area is that brand center. To find it, the easiest way to find it is to just go to manage and then brand center. And then you'll see the logos, materials, there's ads, there's just, images themselves, just a lot of materials you can use. Almost all of them you can customize for your own area. So very useful to use. And I would say that's not just your public image person, but if somebody's running a fundraiser, if they're membership and they need a new brochure, there's a lot of areas in a club that, may need to go to the brand center to pull some materials. Foundation, the Rotary Foundation, there's underneath there are foundation reports, and that's where you can pull up if you want to see your own report. You can't remember, did I make a donation last year? You can look it up there. And then if you're a foundation chair for your club, you can also pull the reports on your club, and that's a good. And the Rotary Club Center, RCC for short, is where all the club reports come in, and the presidents are always familiar with that because that's where we put our goals in there, but there's other information you can pull out of there as well. So it's, like I said, it's a lot of information, a lot of useful information. You do kind of have to take the time to poke around, but you can see quite a bit in there. And I think that's it. I would just close by saying, don't hesitate to ask for help. We don't want you to be frustrated. The district, that's really the roles of everybody working on the district level, is to help the clubs. The district doesn't do stuff. We don't do projects, and we don't have members. It's all done at the club level. So we're here to help the clubs.
And so Kathy asked a question, is there any resources for Rotary speakers? Can we get a Zoom speaker who can talk about RI international projects?
Oh, that's a good one. I have not seen, I know we've talked about having some kind of speakers list. I have not seen one put together.
I bet Sheila could point. I bet Sheila
Maybe
could.
Sheila would be the one. Yeah, she would probably be the one.
Yeah, Sheila Hurst, who, as Carol said, is our district international chair. She has a ton of experience in international projects, and she knows lots of amazing people from all over the world. So I think she would be a really good start if you're looking for a speaker, and she could probably introduce you to somebody who will do that.
And there is that list on our district site that has the projects that many of the clubs in our district are working on. So you could contact those clubs directly and ask them if they would want to come speak about their project.
Yeah, and her name is Sheila Hurst, Hurst, and she's from Reading West.
Reading West, right, exactly. So.
And I believe Sheila, Pam pointed out that Sheila will probably be willing to do a program for you as well. So there's lots of resources. So Carol, do you want to unshare the screen so we can see everybody, and then we can ask if anybody else has any more questions?
All right, here we are.
So does anybody else have any more questions that you'd like to ask? Oh, okay. Vicki, hold on one second. Let me unmute you.
Okay. So I apologize because I was trying to open up, I have a computer here. I was trying to open up all the sites as she was talking about them. And so I missed the part about Rotary Club Center or Central.
Central, yes.
And so I apologize. How do I get to that?
You actually, if you go to Rotary.org, you sign into My Rotary, and then you can go to Rotary Club Central. There's several ways to do it.
Okay.
Any other questions from the group?
When Gary was governor, I asked him, what are your 3 favorite videos off of the RI site? Because when you go there, there's 6,000 videos and you don't want to go through all of them. So he sent me links to his 3 favorite ones. And that really helped me because they were short. I could show them in my club meeting, as a little intermission. And I'm putting Tina A on the spot saying, what are your favorite videos? Because that's a real good tool for us to have to share with our clubs.
So I see that Tina typed back that she would, she and Mark will talk about it and see if
know.
they can come up with some.
Because
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
thinking this is because this training is preparing us for next year, and and Mark's in charge. But I thought, well, what are my favorites? And I swear this is so embarrassing, and I'm blaming it on the time of day. Not one single one has popped into my head, so I need to go back to the list and think, all right, which ones have I seen that really grabbed at my heartstrings? Because I think that's what you're asking for.
Right, make it easy for me.
Okay.
So anybody else have any other questions or any other topics that you want to ask before we sign off for the evening? Is that, somebody wants to know if that's wine behind the DG. Yeah, I think it is. So that's okay. The DGE just does a better job of hiding his, to be perfectly honest with you. So, oh, okay, Barry, are you waving goodbye or did you have a question? You're unmuted, Barry.
Okay, good. I just saw that a couple people were waving their hands like, hi, Pam. And I think they don't know how to raise their hand in the chat. So, and of course we can't see everybody. And I just saw somebody, I think his name was Tanner, that was looking like he wanted, yeah, Tanner had a question. So,
Okay, thank you for that. So Tanner,
so
I have unmuted you, Tanner.
Yes, thank you, Claire. So I have a question from the training on Saturday, and I think this is just a detail, but there was a comment about who are the members of Rotary International, and the answer was that only the governor was the member. But then I went and read the ABCs of Rotary, and it says that the clubs are actually Rotary International members. So who are the members of Rotary International? I guess that's my question.
Governor Line, hello. I see the current governor and the governor-to-be shaking their heads. So it was
in terms of individual members, it is only the current DG who is an individual member. Oh, I'm about to be corrected by Pam here, right? Go ahead, Pam. Oh, no, you're muted again. Pam, you're muted. Pam, you're muted.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
So the governor, the sitting governor, is the only officer of Rotary International. The club belongs as an entity to Rotary International, and the members belong to the club. So you will be, as Tina is now, our officer, which means you can't do certain things because you are an officer of Rotary International. The clubs can do whatever they want to. And then the members in turn are a part of the club. But each individual person also gets their own membership ID number, which is a little confusing because that's how they keep track of our membership and our donations, etc. Does that help?
A lot. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. So anybody, I'm going to unmute everyone just in case I missed somebody else. Everybody's unmuted. Does anybody else have a question? I will say silence means no. Thank you to Carol, and thank you all very much for your participation and for joining us for our virtual assembly series. And we hope to see you at some future sessions. So take care. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hey.